guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have another interesting, great topic, and I was actually really excited to actually go into this topic today. I just didn't know if I really wanted to do it because it can actually be such a long topic, kind of really explaining what I'm saying, especially if I didn't start off with the tree of life. Then it kind of makes it a little bit harder to actually explain. But I did want to actually go into the middle world. I know I mentioned a lot of times that I reference Malakut in my videos, but when I mention the Malakut, I'm actually referencing that middle world. And in the middle world, we actually have several realms in the middle world, which consist of many different planes. And when I want to go into what's the planes, well, there's a spiritual plane, there's the etheric plane, there's an astral plane, there's a mental plane, and there are the physical plane. And the physical plane is the plane that we actually we live on. We live on that physical plane. We live in the material world. We live in the physical world. And in our physical world, it's actually known for the world of illusions, right? So as we know, in the ancient time, they actually believed that there were an upper world, a middle world, and an underworld. And I'll actually go into some Egyptian texts and go a little bit deeper into when I say the underworld and the upper world, as we know is in the cosmos and is actually what we would consider the heavens. So I want to actually go a little bit deeper into this video, kind of explaining the planes, and I'll work my way up to that tree of life and into the explaining what's the underworld and continue explaining what's the middle world. But today we actually gonna only have topics about the middle world, because I want to actually explain to you guys what is the middle world. And if you ever heard of anyone said they astral travel, now you could have a better understanding how someone will be able to astral travel if they actually astral travel through the planes. Because the astral travel, when you astral travel, you're actually, that soul is actually jumping into that astral plane. When we think about the physical world is actually in the physical plane. And our world is made up of solid, liquid, energy, and gas. And it follows the law of physics. And the element of our world is in the element of earth. And that's what actually makes up that physical plane, and that's the world we actually live in. Earth is actually in that earth element, and it's actually in the middle world, as I stated before, and it's basically in that physical plane where we all dwell in the physical. So that etheric plane is a plane that's very close to the physical world and that earth element, right? It's the world between the physical and that astral world. So it's basically where you would think about the chakras, like somebody wanted to know where the chakras actually relates to, and your aura of your body that's actually on the body. If anyone sees auras, it's basically you're actually having that connection with that etheric world, right? So if you're clairvoyant or you have some kind of psychic ability, you'll definitely be able to see the auras, right, on that person's body, and you'll be actually connecting to that etheric world, right? You'll be able to see into that etheric world if you have some kind of clairvoyance ability. So once you actually, let's just say that you jumped into that etheric plane, you can still manifest on that in that plane. From the manifest, you can still manifest from the astral plane to the mental plane to the spiritual plane, because it's still in the planes. Keep that in mind. Okay, so a little bit more about the astral travel. I normally astral travel, and anyone who actually have the ability to astral travel, this is the plane that you actually end up in. You astral travel in the plane that's actually between that etheric and that mental plane. And as you know, it definitely doesn't follow the same laws of the physical world or the etheric realm, because the etheric realm actually is very similar to that physical realm. And when you actually travel through the astral world, that soul actually descends out, right? So there's a big difference between somebody saying that they're sleeping and they're actually now in the astral plane, because the astral plane actually connects you to the universe, right? And in the astral plane, what actually influences that astral plane is the sun, the moon, the planets. That has the influence over the astral plane, as just like how the earth has the influence over the physics, right? And in the astral plane, it's basically corresponds with our emotions, fears, our dreams, our desires. This is the plane that actually, when you manifest something, it actually happens on this plane first, right? So when I say when you manifest something, if you're actually, let's just say you're trying to manifest a job, and if you actually believe that you're getting this job and you're manifesting a job, then this is the plane that it actually manifests on. This is the plane that people have the ability to actually bring their manifestation into reality. So just to give you a better insight, the astral plane connects you to the water elements, and in the mental plane, it is the connection between the lower plane and a little bit of a better understanding. The astral plane connects you back to that water element. So when I say that people have the ability to actually jump and astral travel, so let's just go into like, how could somebody have the ability to astral travel? Well, when someone think about someone levitating, or right, and they're just kind of like in this this ability where they can actually see into some of these planes, right? Like, let's use some experience of what I'm talking about. So I wanted to give a little bit better example of what I mean when I talk about these planes that I'm actually going through. And I'm just want to go a little bit into that astral plane. So the astral plane is basically a water element. So if someone actually met their spiritual guide, a guardian, let's say a guardian angel, let's say that person met their ancestors. Let's say that person actually, instead of that ancestor, came onto the realm, the physical realm, and they actually descend out, and they actually end up in this foreign place that they don't know, then more likely that person astral travel out, right? So let's say somebody actually looked into, they was able to see different planes, like different worlds right in front of them. They may be connecting to that mental plane, or they may be connecting to that etheric plane, or they may be connecting to that astral plane. So the more, I would say more like a clairvoyance, or a person who's a medium, a person who have that ability to have, some people may say gifts. They're connecting into the planes that's giving them that ability to actually see. So they're seeing into the plane. Let's give another example. Someone goes to a house and they actually walked into the house and the house is haunted, or the house has a ghost, or the house have some kind of disturbance going on. That person, everybody in that house may not be able to see what's taking place in that house. And one person may see that. One family may come into that house and see this ghost, right? Or this entity that's there. And it's not because that person it's actually harassing that person. It's just that that person have the ability to actually see within the planes, right? And in those realms, and actually connect them to that entity that's there. Because other than that, majority of people actually sees only the physical plane, right? And when you're actually astral traveling out, let's say you astral travel out, you met your guardian angel, or you astral travel out and you met a Reiki master, or you astral travel out and you met any kind of being that could be some kind of spiritual being as a guide to you, you're going through the astral plane, and that's how you're actually meeting that being. So if you're seeing it within the physical realm and you're looking into the physical realm and you're saying, okay, I'm staring at the wall, but I'm telling you I see your past grandmother, I'm actually picking up the mental plane. I'm picking up something within a different plane, not in the physical plane. And my third eye may be open, that I'm being able to actually see these other planes. And that's how it operates, where somebody could say, a loved one passed, and that person is now telling you the loved one is standing there. And you're sitting in a room and you're like, how? I don't even know if this person is lying or if this person is telling me the truth. Well, this person is actually seeing that, right, into the next plane. And this is how they are seeing them. So when I go through the planes actually associate with many different things that you may think is very taboo, right? People may say it doesn't have, when somebody die and they're still seeing that dead person hanging around. How are they seeing this? And they're telling me they see my family member standing next to me. Well, they're actually looking within that plane, and that's how they have that ability to see. Other than that, they're not going to see, right? Because then they're going to be seeing through that physical eye, and that physical eye is not going to connect you to see within the planes, and it's not going to make you actually see that person or see that entity, right? So we see mad movies sometimes, and you see a horror, and you're like, give me a break. This is such a lie. This is so stupid. I don't believe in this nonsense. Well, the reason how this family and moved into this house and never in their life seen any ghosts in the house, right? And there comes the child, and the child is like telling their parents, oh, there's something in this house. There's a presence in this house. Well, that child may have that clairvoyance ability, right? Where that child could actually see in the planes and see in the realm and actually see the presence there. Other than that, you're not going to be able to see anything, because you're not going to be able to see, you have that ability to see. And this is why, like, we watch these horror movies, and dad is going to work every day, and dad is now looking at the wife as she's crazy, the child as she's crazy, and the wife is now trying to convince dad, let's get out of this house. This house has this haunting, right? And the more they, as the movie keeps rolling and keeps coming down to the end, dad finally sees the ghosts, right? And dad finally sees the ghosts is because they all manifested the ghosts more into the physical realm, because they kept putting all that energy into that being that was running around in the house and no one else was seeing. So it started from the child who kept giving that manifestation, that being, that ability to manifest by keep giving it that energy. Now the parent is now giving it that energy. Now the dad is now giving it the energy, and it manifests in the realms. Now everybody's seeing it. So, everything has a reasoning behind everything, and I hope that actually explains. So let's move on to the mental plane. And the mental plane is that connection between the lower plane, right? It is, it's between the astral and that spiritual plane. Okay, so the last plane I'm going to actually talk about is that spiritual plane. And the spiritual plane is that purest plane. It's one of the highest planes that you can actually travel on. And this is the plane where somebody could actually say they seen their guardian angel, the angels, they seen the divine spirit, they seen God, they seen gods. I mean, whatever religion you actually are, you have the ability to actually travel whoever you're trying to meet on that holy divine level. This is the plane where you can actually do that traveling through. The soul could actually descend out and traveling through. So let's just give an example, right? So I like to give examples. In the Bible, they said Ezekiel, he actually went up to that Merkava, and he saw God sitting on that chariot. Isaiah, he went up to the heavens, and he saw the angels flying around God saying, holy, holy. God Almighty and just kind of like worship and praying Him. That's Him traveling through those planes and having that ability to see, right? So we hear that people will tell you stories where they'll say this person actually meditate and they kind of descend out and they was able to meet their guardians, their holy guardians and stuff like this. This is that highest plane where you have that ability to actually do it on, right? So each plane represents something that is extraordinary, that's taboo to our world, right? Imagine telling somebody, you know what, I actually met my angel yesterday, and having that conversation outside and see everybody face around you like, what? Yeah, right. Right. So this is how the humans do it, right? They run through the planes. Now, if you have that ability and if you're clairvoyant or if you have some kind of psychic ability, here you go. This is where the gifts are from, right? It's true the ability to actually, once that third eye is open, whether you're born with that gift or didn't born with that gift, guess what? There's going to be a connection, right? And you're going to have that ability. Now, there's a lot of people that actually born with a lot of gifts to our realm, and we may say it's gifts, but it's actually that development of that soul having that ability to actually see, hear, and have that connection. And I'll have another video on that, and I hope you guys enjoy this video with this 5 planes. And next time I'm actually going to go a little bit more deeper into the planes. But I'm still under the weather. My voice is actually gone. So I'm going to end this video now, and I hope you like, and I hope you subscribe, and thank you for watching.